the podcast ghost seems to have returned with a vengeance ever since we have joined the network.
Yeah.
So we're still ironing things out. We are trying, we promise.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not just joining the network. It's also now like, oh yeah, we're gonna do our pods live, and it's like we just
So
the ghost doesn't like change, I guess.
The ghost does not like change, but we're figuring it out. We're doing our best. Yeah, but as I was saying in our initial attempted stream,
Right.
yeah, I think there should be a stream which is Kyle does my makeup.
But you'll have to like talk about something while you do that. Was just what I was starting to say that you know, you need, like,
I don't know if we need a topic. I think that's just yap hours.
I mean, you could talk about random stuff, I guess, but
I'm very good at yapping.
I just feel like it'd be really fun, like, you know, Kyle does Bridget's makeup while they discuss insert thing.
This is also very true.
But
I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Other than that, before we dive into anything, what's up? What's new? How's life?
Fine. Summer break over here, except I did not sleep last night.
Explain.
Because I woke up at like 2:30. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then I went to the bathroom and I was trying to fall back asleep. And I had my window open because it was a nice, cool night. And just as I was starting to drift off, I was awoken by the smell of skunk.
Oh, no.
So strong. And keep in mind, my bedroom's on the second floor, right? And you even have to walk up steps to get to the first floor. So I'm way the heck up there. I don't know how it got that strong. It was like burning my nose. It was so strong.
Yikes.
And I could not go to sleep. So I had to go and try to sleep on the couch. And then, of course, Nyx kept walking all over me. I'm exhausted.
That's going to be a yikes for me, dog.
Because of a skunk that was nowhere near me and yet somehow ruined my night.
That is a little bit ridiculous, and
yeah,
that sucks. I'm sorry.
I am indignant, and I would like to speak to the manager of the skunks.
Okay, that's fair.
As an entitled white lady.
I would say you're valid in this situation. I, over the actual weekend, because my job weekends are not real weekends, but over the actual weekend, I took time off to go to Boston for the Teeth of God tour. I saw Sleep Token, which was fucking incredible. And there's a tidbit about that I'm saving for the worsening, but but everything else, incredible show. I cried twice because of who I am as a person.
Yes.
And yeah, oh my god, it was so fucking good. It was such a great show. I love those guys. I love them so much. And like, it's not just that like Vessel's a really good singer, and two, like, in my humble opinion, as a person who like did not really get to do the sort of exploring like Metallica and Black Sabbath at like 12, 13 that tends to happen with people who listen to metal music. So this could be from a very uninformed perspective. I think 2, like the drummer, they just call him, like they all just have numbers other than Vessel. 2 is the best drummer in metal. He is my favorite drummer in metal. Fucking love that guy. He slays. But yeah, Sleep Token was so fucking good. I loved it. And that was really kind of the only big thing recently that's been exciting. But yeah, it was a real good time. And actually, hold on. I'm wondering if I pull this up on my phone.
Hi.
And can I just pull mute just on my phone? Can I just pull up the chat? Yes, I can. I'm just seeing this Daredevil makeup tutorial. All right.
What?
I'm looking at the Twitch chat now. Welcome to my very own Twitch chat. Hell yes. Anyway. Yeah, Sleep Token was good. I can hear Nyx purring. Absolutely love it.
I forgot you can hear that now.
I love that your mic picks it up. See, Oliver, he does purr very loudly, but for some reason, I think it's because I have like a pretty decent like screen that came with my microphone, I think it filters that out quite well.
I think it's also that I have the microphone. It's pretty close to her because you can hear
Yeah.
his purrs when you hold him up to it. I think she's just pretty close.
It's
to
a
it.
matter of like making sure he remains purring for the time that it takes to get him up to the microphone,
Mm-hmm.
which that's hit or miss.
She's like, I want to be a part of it. My
And
purrs.
we're happy to have her.
All the
But
people teach my purrs.
but as for the actual things we have to talk about, kind of just some random stuff that I came up with today. The first of which being, what are some fashion trends that we want to make a comeback?
I see. I find this difficult because I've never really like been into trendy things. I'm trying to think. I honestly, I don't know if any come to mind. I have to keep thinking on it.
I want male crop tops to come back. I want the slutty male short shorts of the 70s and 80s, and I want the male crop tops of the 70s and 80s. And this is not me saying like, oh, only if you're hot or whatever, only if you have a six pack. No. Male crop tops.
Just yeah.
End of
More
statement.
dude midriff.
Yeah. 80s NBA style shorts. That is precisely what I'm talking about. I want to see men in fucking Daisy Dukes. That's also just a blatant statement for all men. Get slutty with it.
Yeah,
it's slutty with it.
It's wild when you watch movies from like the 80s and there's dudes wearing like basically booty shorts and crop tops and they're like the cool guys and you're like,
yeah,
this is wild. This was a thing. Like if a guy dressed like that right now,
I want it.
Yeah, it's just
want
like
it so bad.
How much the world changes, you know?
Slutty with it. I love to see it.
I do have a more general like more hats.
Yes.
Not like baseball caps like a lot of guys wear, but like just fun hats. Nobody does that anymore.
I know.
Like I want to see people out here wearing berets and like newsboy caps.
I used to do hats when I was in school.
I knocked my phone down.
I used to be a hat gal when I was in school, but now there's no fucking point because of my job for any hat other than like a practical hat.
But you could wear a hat just like hanging out on the weekend and go and to do whatever and
I do that sometimes. The thing is though, the times that I do that are like, you know, sometimes I wear an outfit on the podcast that I would pair a hat with, but I got this situation going on.
I don't know if I've ever seen you wear a hat aside from cosplay.
Interesting. Noted.
I was trying to think. Maybe this partially comes from me not being able to wear hats because of my weird head sensitivity. I've always wanted to be a hat person.
I'm so sorry. That is also possible. But yeah, I think more people, and in general, this isn't necessarily a trend, but I think more people need to get jiggy with it.
Okay.
Just in general, get fucking weird with it.
I don't care. Jiggy, right?
Yeah, I did. Get fucking jiggy with it. Get weird with it.
That makes me think of like the fashion in the video from Getting Jiggy with It. Really big puffy coats is the primary thing I remember.
In that, I'm saying wear whatever. Wear whatever the hell you want.
I think people do that already.
Don't be a coward.
I think people just do that.
And again, it's a trend that I'm seeing, that I'm liking, and I want people to do it more and harder. Like I'm already seeing it. I want people to get even weirder with it.
I don't really know anybody who's like, oh, I'd really like to dress this way, but I don't want people to laugh at me. I don't know anybody who does that. But maybe that's just the kind of people I know. I don't know.
I also think that was like a significant, like that was much more of a thing in like the 2010s. Like I want to dress like X, but I don't want to get laughed at. Now it's just sort of like a free for all, which again I love. So just like keep going in the direction that we're going in.
See, I feel like that's true and not true at the same time. That like, because you brought up this idea of like micro trends and stuff like that before.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I feel like it, and maybe this is my algorithm, I don't know, but I'm constantly seeing these things online about like, my mind just went entirely blank. What are they called? Alpha,
I'm
Gen Alpha.
yes.
Saying these things are no longer cool, don't do them anymore. Is
Oh,
it
okay.
going
Well,
back
I mean,
around?
it's always going to be like that. It's literally always going to be like that.
But I saw one the other day, and I'm constantly saving things and screenshotting things and then forgetting to send them to you. But I had seen one the other day that said ankle socks are out. And if you wear ankle socks, you're like a grandpa. And how is that even a thing? Like,
Huh?
that's what it said. I have it somewhere on the phone that's on the floor.
That's odd, I will say. But
Like,
like
'cause
also
taller
again,
socks are
like the
in.
whole fucking like Gen Z versus millennial thing where it's like, oh, side parts are cringe, middle parts are cool, blah
Exactly.
blah blah. Like it's there's always going to be that. So let's put that in its own little box.
I guess it just depends on how much you care about that stuff. Like, do you
Yeah, I
care
don't
if
personally, I mean, no, I don't care what a 12-year-old thinks is cool.
I don't
Like
either.
even a little bit. I was an idiot when I was 12.
Yeah. I don't get it. I'm also just trying to like make sense out of it, Like I don't
But
I'm
at the
trying to
same
understand.
time, like again, I get it. It's always been like this. It always will be like this. No 12-year-old, no like 12 to 15-year-old is ever going to think that somebody who is like in the range of 28 to 32 is like the pinnacle of cool.
Yeah.
That's just
I mean,
it's never been like that. It will never be like that.
no, I mean it's okay, the thing I saved literally just says ankle socks are for old people now according to Gen Z. Actually, it wasn't even alpha.
And here's the thing. I never fucking know because people slice it differently. I'm a millennial. I'm like the last of the millennials according to some, and I'm like the first of the Gen Z according to
Yeah.
Zoomer. I'm fine with that. The Gen Z boomer. The
Yeah.
boomer of Gen Z.
Yeah, we both kind of straddle the line between generations because I'm an exennial.
Yeah.
A little
And
bit of
like
both.
whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just out of the loop within my own age bracket in some ways because of that. Whatever.
Yeah, I think in my head I was remembering it as Gen Alpha because like what's the youngest Gen Z now? It's
My sister's 2.5 years younger than I am, and she's definitely like she's Gen Z like TM.
yeah, but I mean I feel like they're not super young anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and usually the only people that care about like policing trends and stuff like that are like middle school teenagers because that's the age where you're trying to like figure out who you are and part of that
Yep.
process is like distinguishing yourself from the olds. Like
Mhm.
every single generation does it. And so I could see kids that
Yep.
age like wanting to be like, here's where we're drawing our lines in the sand. What's
Yeah.
cool, what's not. But
Yeah, I really don't know though. But on the flip side, what do we think are some fashion trends that should never make a comeback?
so
This
many.
one I have much more clear, concrete answers for. First of which is fucking low-rise jeans.
That's always top of my list.
Keep that shit out of here.
What a nightmare
Also,
time.
you know what I hate? You know what I hate is that fucking like denim wash that was so very early 2000s where it was like almost white in like the
Mhm.
center of the jean and then it
Yeah.
got more faded blue as it came out. I hate that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate it.
How do we feel about acid wash? Should it make a comeback?
I don't know if it should make a comeback. I think if you really fucking know what you're doing, you
Yeah.
can pull it off. but should it make a broad comeback? No, absolutely not.
It'd be interesting to see like a really modern style like denim product, but then it's acid wash. Because
Ooh,
when I think
like
acid
mom
wash,
jeans, like the cool new mom jeans, but acid wash? That would be
yeah.
very strange.
Because when I picture acid wash, I'm always picturing very 80s kind of style, you know. But what if we had like a modern style, but acid wash?
You know what
Yes,
another
we
thing from the 80s that I don't think should ever come back is like this is like a women's the hair well fucking ever. The women's swimsuits specifically. The
Mm.
fucking really high hip cut. I hate
Hmm.
that. I
Yeah.
hate that. And again, maybe that's just a me thing. I'm sure there's tons of people who look fucking great in it, but like, nope, not me. No, thank you. Keep that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always the low rise jeans that come to mind for me immediately, but there's, oh man, there's so many. I just,
Yeah.
there's,
The 2000s in particular were such a lawless wasteland. Like, especially like you would see this all the fucking time. Like, jeans under a skirt or a
Yeah.
dress.
Yep.
Fuck that shit. Absolutely not.
I think we've talked about this before on the pod. Like, that was when I was in high school. Like, that was what the kids were doing. And it just, trying to find jeans that weren't low rise was a nightmare.
I can imagine.
Just
But yeah,
every
no.
day. Waking up in that hellscape of fashion.
See, I see the mention of Jinkos in the chat, and I don't think that was the worst sin of the early 2000s denim wise.
No, that
There
was
were
90s.
worse things happening.
That was 90s. Because my brother had several pairs. That was like all he would wear were the Jinkos. And they would drag the ground and they were all torn and like, yeah. And then like the shiny button down shirts.
I've never seen one of those.
You've never seen the shiny shirts? Like, you know, are you familiar with Night at the Roxbury? No? Interesting.
They were as wide as they were tall.
I'm just going to go ahead and put another mark in the I am old column.
I'm so sorry.
But Night at the Roxbury was actually technically started as a Saturday Night Live skit with Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan, and they made a movie out of it.
Okay.
Where they go, these guys that go clubbing, but they wear the shiny shirts.
Noted.
I feel like we need to have visuals of the shiny shirts.
I don't
know if we can make that happen on here, but I feel like it should be.
I'm not in charge.
Oh, that's true. I don't know how this stuff works anymore.
I know. I'm adjusting.
I'm just not looking up shiny 90s shirts just because I want to see what comes up.
Ooh, working on it.
I hope somebody knows what I mean. But yeah, it was definitely a thing.
I'm sure someone must.
Yeah, it was definitely a thing in the 90s for guys to wear these like shiny shirts, and I don't know why my brother had so many of them. So he would wear that, and then like the ball chain necklaces, and
yeah,
I'm spiky hair.
Kind of ambivalent on that. Yeah, no. the like the frosted tips that can stay.
That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Not going.
Oh wow. See, the thing is, you would just see that at a rave now.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean they're kind of like clubbing type shirts, but
okay.
But I assume you know what I'm talking about, Chris, when I talk about Night at the Roxbury.
Maybe way, this is just me having not experienced like the cringe of this, but I'm gonna make a bold statement right now and say that I think you could make that kind of cunty.
You also, though, are enjoying currently some of the music my brother listened to when he dressed like that.
Shut up.
I mean, just imagine, man, I really gotta find pictures of my brother now in his Jinkos and shiny shirts when he would listen to Deftones. And
you leave the Deftones out of this. But yeah. Some of the like the hair dye trends can like the chunky early aughts highlights.
Kind of like many skunk stripes.
Yeah, not huge
Yeah.
about it.
You know what? Most hair stuff doesn't really bother me, except like the really big hair.
I mean, and
Makes me
again,
get a little
I'm
bit.
always like a do what you want to do type of
Yeah.
person. I am not here to shame anybody. This is just like, if I had to pick, we
Yeah.
could leave those ones behind.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It's just one of those things that doesn't bother me as much. It's usually more clothing because the way somebody styles their hair doesn't affect my ability to style my hair, but whatever stylish clothing wise does limit clothing choices for me. So it
This
has
is
an impact.
You know, here's the thing that I've kind of come back around on that's like it's stuck around like with one subculture or another like pretty much the entire time. But like the layering of like a t-shirt with a long sleeve shirt under it, I've really
Hmm.
come back around on that recently.
I thought you didn't like layering.
And here's the thing. If I do it like right, I don't mind. And it makes no sense to me either, but I think it's because the shirt that I use for like the white shirt that I'll put a lot of band t-shirts over is like pretty form fitting, and I buy all of my band tees like a size up. So like there's less like fabric getting scrunched up with each other.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I've come back around to that like big time.
Layering clothing was like the majority of my style for a big chunk of middle school. Don't know
Yeah,
why,
there
but it
was
was like the thing.
Oh, you know what else can fucking stay in the 2000s? Skinny scarves.
Oh god. It just
I recall wearing that when I was in like 6th grade.
yeah. Although I do kind of wish like decorative scarves in general would come back because it doesn't seem like people really wear them currently. And I, been going through my closets and stuff, and I have this big pile from my scarf phase of like
Yeah.
really fun scarves, but it would feel out of place to wear them now because no one's really doing it. I'm like, do I get rid of these? Do I hold on to them for when it feels right again?
I would say hold on to them for when it feels right again. It's all cyclical.
Yeah. It's been a while though. I've had these for like 15 years.
Yeah, I will say it has been a hot minute.
It was the same period when like tall boots were really in. And my brother told me I looked like a pirate.
Whoopsies.
Joke's on him. I wore those same black tall boots when I dressed as a pirate for Halloween.
Nicely done. Um. Oh, this is an early 2000s. Actually, no, this is more of a like a 2010s thing, 2012. The fucking galaxy print leggings.
Mm,
I had a pair of those.
I did not. But
Those can stay.
yeah, that was also around the time I was finishing my PhD, so I was really
Yeah, really not much point.
of the age, I guess, that would wear them at that point. Yeah.
But yeah, those can stay. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things like I'm sure there's plenty of them that if I were reminded, maybe that I've like, pushed them deep down
Yeah,
so that I can
repress
remember.
that.
Yeah, like I think this has come up on the pod before where I was like when I was a kid, like stirrup pants were such a thing. Stirrup pants and then the like the bodysuit, like the adult onesie, I forget what they're called. That snaps in
Yeah,
your
I think they're
crotch.
just called bodysuit. Those are
Oh,
in
no.
again.
Why? They're so uncomfortable. Nobody wants snaps in their crotch.
It's for the line. It's for the line.
Oh no, I mean I understand, but like I care more about comfort than that stuff.
I mean, beauty is pain.
Nope, no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah, no, those are back in a big way.
Nope. Those and stirrup pants were in at the same time. There was like this obsession with fabric that stretched around things.
I mean, sure,
Yeah.
comfy enough, I suppose. But here's another sort of fashion question that just occurred to me today because as a sort of alternative fashion enjoyer, a lot of black happening. I have a predominantly white cat,
Mhm.
which leads to some situations. I am very well acquainted with the lint roller, and I am this close to attempting to stop the problem at the source and just vacuuming the boy. But do we think that witches have black cats to disguise the amount of cat hair on their witch robes?
I mean, I could see that being a motivation. You know, my parents have a cat, Milo, who's like Oliver, but just considerably larger and
Sick.
much more timid. He's a
Sweet
big
baby.
wuss. He's a big
Love
chunky
it.
wuss. I shouldn't say he's chunky. He's just very large and muscular. He's not really
I
fat
think
per
it's
se.
funny that he's as scared of things as he is because he could so easily eat so many of his problems.
Yes, exactly. Like he's scared of their other cat, but he could definitely just take him, like just lay on him and it's over. But he's still scared.
Yeah.
Anyway, Milo, the big wuss. My poor mother like won't buy anything that's black or navy blue or anything like that to wear around the house. Like she gets excited to come and stay with me because she's like, I can wear like black pants in your house. Because not only is he mostly white, he has particularly thick, wiry fur. Like it
Interesting.
stands out and it haunts you. I swear I find his fur randomly around my home sometimes. I don't know
I mean,
how it
I gotta
gets there.
say, there's a fair amount of cat hair on this shirt right now, but you can't really see it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not that it blends, but it's not like that.
Yeah, no, his fur is just particularly bad for some reason and he sheds like crazy. It's really thick, like not just the
Interesting.
individual hairs but like dense.
Hmm.
It's kind of the bane of my mom's existence, but then I have the opposite problem where I can't wear things that are light colored unless I want to have black fur all over it.
Yeah.
So I tell my cats that they have to be the approved color to rub my legs, like when I'm going to work. Like if I'm wearing black pants, Nyx is allowed to rub my legs. If I'm wearing like kind of khaki-ish, then Luna can.
And do you trade off days is the question.
I mean, I always change. Yeah, I have so many pairs of dress pants, like dozens.
Yeah.
And so I will, me filling up my water bottle, getting ready to walk out the door, shouting at the cat, "You're not the approved color."
I like it.
So, yeah, I mean, it does matter. I wonder if there's anybody though that goes to that extent of like, let me pick a cat that best matches my wardrobe.
I mean, I also think just like an average goth girl, for example, is probably already into the black cat thing anyway, because witches, spooky, they're bad
Mhm.
luck. Ooh.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely helps.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it all comes from the same place of like black was associated with evil, so they assume witches wear black, black cats are, it all goes.
Yeah.
By the way, I just started watching Kiki's Delivery Service yesterday and didn't get very far because of time, but
I love that movie.
so I was just watching that and I was like, she has a black cat.
She has like Gigi looks like the cat on your little cat mug that you got at that one tea store.
Yeah, my Nixie mug, as I call it. Which, yeah, by the way, now she's not here that we're talking about black cats, but it always makes me
Rude
so
little
sad
lady.
that she's technically a locket cat, as they call them, because she has the white spot on her chest. And they're so much more common than purely black cats because people were always killing pure black cats because they thought they were unlucky. So they would just see one, but then the ones with the white spots, they're like, well, they're not fully black, so it's fine. But that's why it's so much more common and it makes me sad.
Nyx also has white panties.
Yes, her cute little white
Love-
panties. The printer
her.
ran out of ink. She was almost fully black and then the printer ran out of ink. Didn't quite close up here or on her belly.
Love it. But yeah, oh my god, I love Kiki's Delivery Service. That's such a cute fucking movie. Anyway, yeah, I think the black cat witch connection, it definitely helps
Mm-hmm.
if you're wearing your black witch robes all the time and you can't see the amount of cat hair on them because you have a
Yeah.
spooky black witch cat.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it's the motivation, but sure is convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Here she comes now.
You heard we
Hi.
were talking about you?
Did you hear us talking about you? You little weirdo. Are you gonna
Hop
come
on.
up and say hi? Show people your
Oliver
locket.
actually hopped in my lap while I was playing video games at the computer today.
Oh,
It's a rare occurrence.
she's doing the hesitant, like, start to jump thing again. Why?
You can do it.
I believe in you, Nixie. Come on. She's
You
just
can do
walking
it.
around meowing and rubbing things. What? Meow? Is the microphone picking up her meowing?
Yeah, actually.
You can. Come on.
Well, the last time we recorded, I think mine picked up Oliver screaming.
There she is. There's that little locket. Hey, I was pointing at your
And
little
there's
locket.
more
There.
purrs.
Oh.
What a cute little baby.
She's like, I heard you were talking about me and black kitties, although you were technically black and white. It makes me laugh every time the paperwork I got from the adoption whatevers. On her paperwork, it has her color listed as black, but then somebody else clearly wrote in later in different handwriting and ink /white.
I feel like that's the least relevant thing about her. Is the two tiny spots of white.
It's like would people get confused? They're like, well, she's not fully black, so this must not be the one they're talking about. It's like she is 99.5% black. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't even see any white on her right now. Look, she just black. Yeah. Very spooky.
But okay.
You're terrifying.
Black cats and all that fun stuff. Thoroughly discussed, I would say.
Yeah.
This also just occurred to me today while I was playing Fallout. Fucking shocker. If you had to live in a post-apocalyptic media universe, which one would you choose and why? And then I have some subpoints of what would be the most quote-unquote fun. And then what do you think your best actual odds of survival would be? Like, what one would give you your best actual odds of survival?
So I feel like you got to start thinking of it as like categories, because you have like the nuclear wasteland apocalypse, you have like the zombie apocalypse. Those are really the two primary, right?
I would say so. I mean, I think something like the Hunger Games also technically counts as post-apocalyptic, but that's just like, I don't know. That's more like,
it's been forever since I read the book / saw the movies. That was like, was it famine related that they ended up like
something like that? Societal collapse. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Something had to lead to it. I just don't know what it was.
I'm going to be completely honest here. As a person who is on the maximum allowable dose of Zoloft, I don't think I'm going to fare very well in any post-apocalyptic universe unless I am supremely lucky in whichever one I spawn into and happen to be like one of the people who's like in a vault in Fallout or in the Capitol in the Hunger Games or fucking whatever.
Which, by the way, I did watch Fallout over the weekend. And I am 100% Lucy in the apocalypse.
Aren't we all? Oh my god, I love her. We will talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the reason I try to think about it in terms of category like that is like, first of all, which would work better. And in a way, I'm like, well, at least if it's a nuclear apocalypse, you don't have zombies trying to eat you, but you do have other human beings who suck.
You do have other human beings who suck. And again, depending on the nuclear waste universe, I mean, you do have the feral ghouls in Fallout.
Yeah, that is true.
And other various irradiated creatures.
Although I've seen a few different series now that have both.
Yeah. Which like makes sense.
Fear the Walking Dead had a nuclear bomb go off like years after the zombie apocalypse. There was just a really fun show called Z Nation that used to be on Sci-Fi that was like intentionally just like super campy zombie, just like the really over the top. Yeah, it's real fun. But yeah, they definitely had a lot of radiation issues there. So
yeah, I really don't give myself any actual decent odds of survival in just about any kind of post-apocalyptic universe.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be doing a very good job, and that's just the way it be, unfortunately. I think I'd maybe be okay in like a Hunger Games type of one, I guess, because like if you don't get picked,
Yeah.
your life is just kind of shitty.
Well, it depends on which district you're in, though.
It does
Like-
depend on which district you're in, but even then, if you're in one where you don't get fucking like you don't get picked, okay.
Yeah, but then you have to like if you're in District 13, you have to be like working yourself to the bone every day, barely being able to feed yourself and your family.
This is
and,
also
like,
true.
whereas, like, I don't know, I feel like I would go zombie apocalypse more so than nuclear.
But which one?
Because, well, first of all, I was going to say that I don't know that nuclear apocalypse would work out well for me, because unless you got like the rad meters and stuff, like I don't want to slowly die from oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for?
Radiation poisoning?
That's it. Like I don't want to slowly die from that. So at least if I'm in zombie apocalypse, I don't have to worry about that. The zombies you can see coming.
This
You
is
know?
true. But here's the thing though, if it's like World War Z, you're fucked, man.
Yes.
Because them shits can move.
Yeah. I'm not doing World War Z or 28 Days Later zombies.
No.
It's gonna have to be classic, like Dawn of the Dead, maybe, or
Yeah.
even better, Shaun of the Dead. That's what I'm going with.
There you go. Yeah, maybe some fucking Dawn of the Dead wouldn't be too. Is that the one in the fucking shopping mall, or is that Day of the Dead?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. I'm sure the person
Anyway.
producing knows. Has-
If I can become Walton Goggins, I'm in for the nuclear apocalypse. Yeah, if Walton Goggins is there, sign me up. Not to roll it back to our last episode too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've already covered this. But I don't know. I feel like there are I feel like there might be some advantages to like again the one set up by Fallout, because like you said you wouldn't want to like you don't have a Geiger counter, but like
Mhm.
those are fucking everywhere in the games and the show. So like
well, but it's also
if you knew how to
fictional.
avoid it. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I did say post-apocalyptic media universe. so-
Yeah. But it's also like that's like a specific physical thing you have to have with you. If you lose it or someone steals it or it breaks,
this
like
is true.
versus you, as long as you have the ability to see and hear, you should be able to know if a zombie is coming to
Yeah, I
should
guess you're
see
sort
and
of
or hear.
classic. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead, slow, sort of shambling zombies.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are my best actual odds of survival, I gotta say.
Yeah.
As far as most quote unquote fun,
Mm.
again, I feel like I am looking at this from such a gamer angle.
Fun, you say?
Well, I mean, that's why it was kind of in quotes.
No, I was thinking you might guess what I'm thinking. What would be a
Zom
fun
100? That would be pretty fun.
A fun zombie apocalypse? Yes, Zom 100.
Oh my god, I would
I think
fucking
it was
love a
accurate.
real life Pit Boy.
Huh?
It was in the chat. Real life Pit Boy would be awesome. Yes, please. I desire it.
I can 3D print one. Just put your phone in there.
Oh,
It's
I
called-
was going to ask you to do that for your cosplay anyway, but we'll get there
I
eventually.
assumed, yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Now
But-
that I got it working again.
Yeah. I don't. Where would I be having the most fun? Zom 100 definitely up there. It seems like they're kind of having a blast.
Great time. And I know you haven't seen it, but that show Z Nation I just referenced, like, it seems like it's fun because again, it's just supposed to be sort of campy and silly, and they have some
Yeah.
good times. You know, they got like some cool like bars and establishments that people have
Yeah.
created here and there. Just seems fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like in the like the very broad, not just like one particular game universe of like Fallout, New Vegas kind of seems like it fucks.
Hmm.
It seems like a fun spot to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's tricky because regardless of what caused the apocalypse, if it's radiation or zombies or whatever it is,
Yeah, it's
you're
not
still
going to be
gonna have,
ideal.
you're still going to have other people, and
Yeah.
other people are always going to suck. They're always going to
Yeah.
care about themselves and will do anything to other people to get what they need.
Hmm.
And that's always going to be the primary challenge, I think.
Yeah. But I think I would probably survive the longest in like a Day of the Dead zombie situation.
Now that made me just think though about like, would you do better in a zombie apocalypse, or not zombie apocalypse, just any apocalypse? Would you do better in apocalypse if like more people died because then there's fewer people to be threatened by? Or would that mean that there's more scarcity in some respects? And
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like your ideal apocalypse survival team, and this like comes up again and again in so many movies, it's like the 3 to 5 people.
yeah.
Because like you have the advantages of like, oh, someone can take watch while we all sleep at whatever fucking camp we made or whatever. Hell is other people, Jean-Paul Sartre. Yeah. But yeah, somebody can like take watch and like stand guard. But it's not like if you have a crowd of 10 people and you get ambushed or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you won't be like slowed down by like making sure everyone gets out.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing we know from like every single zombie TV show is that if you tried to like build a civilization, it's going to go very poorly.
Often does. So there's that. There's advantages to both because I would say in some aspects, if whatever the event is wipes out a bunch of people, there's more loose ammo to just find.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess you sounds terrible to say, but if there's a zombie apocalypse, or I don't know, I keep saying zombie, any apocalypse, you want it to wipe out as many people as possible without decimating the entire species, because then more
Yeah.
resources for you, less people to threaten you.
Yeah. Kind of fucked up, but again, we are talking about an end of the world scenario, so like things have already gotten bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's not me saying like, oh, I wish everybody would die in the apocalypse. That's not what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
no.
I'm just talking about for your odds of survival. This is what is probably the best case scenario. You know,
Yeah, I would say that tracks.
fewer people to fight and share resources with. That's
Yeah.
going to increase your chance of survival.
Yeah, I think I would be having more fun in a sort of Zom 100 situation. Though.
Yeah.
Or what other apocalyptic games have I enjoyed? I feel like there's so many, but now that I'm trying to think of more than like 2, my mind is just.
Isn't that a stalker game? One?
Oh no, I wouldn't. No, that would be a bad time.
But that is one though.
That is one. Stalker
That
is
is-
one. Metro is another. The difference in flavor of apocalypse, let's say, between like Russian post-apocalyptic games and American post-apocalyptic games is, whew, the difference is stark.
Yeah. That's a good question. What about the ape apocalypse from Planet of the Apes? I don't know. You would have to be a slave.
Yeah, it
Or
doesn't.
a run.
I haven't seen a Planet of the Apes movie ever.
Just, I mean, the apes take over. Humans are slaves to the apes, and
Yeah.
the apes can talk.
I mean, I'm aware of their existence culturally, but
Yeah. But I mean,
Noted.
so like, just based on that, like, no, I would not want to live in that apocalypse because
Yeah, no
I don't want
thanks.
to be slaves to apes. I don't like any version of an apocalypse where I'm enslaved.
Yeah, not a huge fan.
But I can't
Vampire
think of any.
ones. Is there such a thing as a vampire? Hmm.
See, that's what's interesting is because vampires usually like hide in the shadows.
Yeah. I know, like, I haven't actually seen it, but I know 28 Days Later, it's like an aggression thing, right? It's like the
But
aggression.
that's like zombie though,
Yeah.
not vampires. Yeah, I guess there was kind of in Buffy. I mean, the vampires were. Mm,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I've definitely seen things where vampires have talked about taking over.
Yeah.
Um, it was Castlevania,
Yes. There's
right? Where
definitely a
what's her
plan for a
face was
vampire
like,
takeover.
yeah, yes. I was like, I can see it in my head, but I'm starting to mix up all the anime that I've seen.
Carmilla, right?
Yes, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I just think of her in my head as that one bad bitch. But yes,
Love
that is,
her.
of course you do. She's terrible.
She's hot.
I didn't say she wasn't. I said she's terrible.
I want her to step on me in those stilettos. I don't care that, like, yes, she is terrible. You're right. But while she's on her way to, like, commit horrible acts or whatever, if she could step on me in those stilettos, that'd be nice. I wouldn't complain.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome to Bridget Overshares, an alternate title for the podcast because it happens every fucking week.
And then I just look at you funny as though it is not an audio medium.
Yeah, and then you simply decline to perceive or process that information.
Or at least respond to it.
Yeah, which, you know what, fine. If I had the option to not put up with my own bullshit, I might take it sometimes.
Wouldn't that be cool? You not having to put up with yourself.
Yeah.
It's the one person you
Anyway.
can't get away from.
I know, I'm stuck with this all the time. If you're tired of it, imagine how I feel.
I'm with it myself every day. Somebody else needs to take the burden.
I know. I would probably be having the most fun in either like a Fallout or a Zom 100. I'm gonna lock that in as final answer.
Yeah, no, I gotta go Zom 100 because they're just having a great time. They got their little village by the end of the season and
Yeah,
going off on an adventure with their friends.
God, I wish that were me. Okay, so now that is going to bring us to the weekly worsening, which I kind of teased when I talked about having gone to Sleep Token. Here's how I'm worse this week. I have gotten a taste of the mosh pit and I want more.
Yes, you were sending pictures of your injuries.
Yeah, it was barely anything. I got slightly bruised, but I thought it was funny. But yeah, there was a wall of death at the Sleep Token concert, and I was in that, and it was really, really fun, and I want to fucking do it again.
Yeah, I've had my fill of that stuff.
Oh, so just fucking freeing, man. I liked it. I want to do it again. Also, I still want to crowd surf, but that'll come later. So that's how I'm worse. And the other way that I'm worse is that one, I've almost finished rewatching Fallout, and girl, the gamer brain fucking help me.
You and me both.
Oh, wonderful. But yeah, that's how I'm worse this week. It's not many things.
Yeah.
But the things are intense, I would say.
And they're related things because the show and the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. They're combined.
It's the only fucking thing I want to do. I don't understand why I'm like this, but yeah. How are you worse this week, Bestie?
So, yeah, as I've mentioned, I think the last few episodes, I've got my gaming laptop a few weeks back, and I've gradually been adjusting my kind of setup here. I actually just got a laptop stand that came today, so that's nice to have it elevated up. And
Nice.
um yeah, and I have been just buying games on Steam, just like, oh, that's on sale, that looks fun, I'll get to that maybe eventually, and then just buying it.
Welcome. That's
Um
what everyone does.
yes, I saw that you have 120 games on there.
Yes, I do. Because sometimes you get really fun bundles for
Yeah.
like dirt cheap.
Yeah, which is how this kind of started out, because I really just had like a couple of games that I was interested in trying out, and then so I had started. Don't be me. I like to, when I say fun in front of anything, I add it like just F whatever, and my TAs always make fun of me for saying factivities for fun activities. So fun bundles.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's exactly something I would say. But yeah, and so like I was like texting you like, oh, this game's on sale, this game's on sale. I am so stoked to play that game Stray, because I was watching. I watched this video of this guy playing it, and it's like you get to be a stray cat in an alien world and befriend a freaking robot, and like
yeah,
you get a little
Stray's on my
computer
wish list.
So that was one of the games that I bought. But yeah, I got a fundle with both Portal games, and so I was like, I'll start with Portal 1, and when I finish that, I'll do Portal 2. And
oh, those games are so fucking good. Those are two of my favorite video games of all time.
Yeah, so I've been burning through the first Portal. Nice. I believe I'm actually pretty close to finishing it already.
They're not big games.
They're not, yeah. But it's like it's a little sad, because I'm like, I just started playing this, I think, and
yeah, like they're really fun and they're super well made.
Yeah,
they are. I think my record for like fastest Portal play, it's like I finished it in like 3 hours or something.
Yeah. Although I did see somebody posted like their 5-year-old beat it 10 times, and I'm like, that seems unlikely.
Yeah, no, I don't think
has
so.
That kind of logic.
I am gonna call BS on that one.
Yeah. So I'm having trouble doing anything but sitting here and playing games, because now I've got my chair with my footrest going, and I have cat ear headphones.
Not the Twitch Thought headphones.
And I they're only for certain circumstances though, because I can't. My head starts hurting like pretty quickly. But I got them specifically because I'm often sitting here playing a game while my 3D printer is going, and it's hard to hear over the printer because it is huge and loud. So only when the 3D printer is on, I will brave the headache, even though it drives me crazy. But yeah, the little ears light up and.
Who is she?
And so then I have my controller over here too, which had annoying buttons on the back. I cracked it open and removed the buttons because they were.
See, I prefer wired.
This can be wired, and as long as you have the right controller, it doesn't really make a difference anymore these days.
I don't want to deal with any potential lag issues.
I've never had an issue, not yet anyway. But because I had the controller and the headphones, I was like, well, these are just laying around. So I 3D printed myself a wall thing so that they just hang on my wall.
Incredible.
Which is where I just grabbed them from. And yeah, so it's the game stuff and the 3D printing stuff. I just keep making stuff. You can see my...
I can see the goose.
The goose from the Untitled Goose Game that does have a magnet in its mouth and will hold things. I haven't actually... as I say it, haven't actually glued it together yet. I glued the beacon, and then I didn't finish the rest of it. And I got this little wormy guy, and I painted his teeth silver.
Oh, he's kind of like a sandworm.
Yeah. And this one is available for commercial use.
So come cop that at our table at Mid-Hudson.
Yeah. And this particular filament is color change. You have to hold it for a little while, but it turns pink.
That's so fun. I love it.
Yeah. It takes longer than I thought it would, but when I was holding it earlier to paint the teeth, when I moved my hand, it was all pink where my hand was.
That's awesome.
So this was my test print. So I'm doing a test print of everything before I, start to print it en masse. That's really
dig it.
uncomfortable to hold, by the way. It's very spiky. So I don't know
Jeez.
about that part.
How does it feel to be a gamer?
I don't know.
I love this. This is so much fun for me.
There is a part of me that wishes I never got the gaming stuff because, like, I don't have this kind of time. I got stuff to do.
I mean, I got stuff to do too. That's why it comes in cycles.
Yeah, but like, so I'm doing that. At least that and the 3D printing kind of go nicely together because then I can monitor the print while I'm sitting here playing. So it's kind of nice in that way. But like, those two things are sucking up. I'm like, I got things to do. Plus,
isn't that the bitch of being alive?
Did you see the snaps that I sent you earlier?
I did see the snaps that you sent me earlier. They were delightful.
I always call it the Nerd Emporium.
That's what you called it in the snap.
But like, I guess like a little like mini promo for this local business called Millennium Games. According to a bumper sticker they sell at their store, it is the largest game store in America.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, but it is a nerd's dream because it has the game stuff, right? It's got like all the Magic and D&D and, all that stuff. And they have this huge game room where they have tournaments like almost every night of the week for different tabletop games, card games, stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
They also weirdly have a whole section for disc golf.
Sure, whatever.
A lot of miniature stuff, but then all kinds of blind boxes and plushies and so much Pokemon stuff and Legos. It's
nice.
It's nerd paradise. And there were so many things I was going to send you pictures of that I kept coming across. Like, look at this, look at this. But did you notice that I sent you a snap of the blind boxes and I zoomed in on the Evangelion blind boxes?
Yes, you did.
It is a beautiful place.
We will have to go.
Yeah, I think Kyle would also very much enjoy it just for the sheer amount of Pokemon stuff. And but I keep going there to buy my paints for my models is the primary reason. And I was very good. I only bought paint and paintbrushes today. I was tempted by a lot of things. They did have car Kirby's. That was the only. They did not have the cone Kirby's.
I've never seen the fucking cone Kirby, and I need it.
They had 2 Kirby's and a lot of other Kirby things, but yeah.
I will find him.
It is a beautiful place, and every time I go there, I feel like I just want to weep from the sheer joy of it. So, and plus they're just very delightful people. So, if you're anywhere near Rochester, New York,
I can imagine
on Jefferson Road.
Hell yeah, fun little promo there.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, I think that's going to bring us to the conclusion of this episode.
Yeah.
As always, thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we'll be back again next week, hopefully with less and less technical difficulties as time goes on. Fingers crossed. But now I'm going to leave it up to boss man, producer.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Oh, it's so weird not being in charge anymore.
It's like I can't do anything. Somebody push a button.
I can't press buttons.
Now you know how I felt.